Not a lot of people I know this about you, but you're actually kind of a freelance entertainment reporter. And as a result of this, you got a great opportunity to interview a famous director, John Waters.
Waters was doing his Christmas show.
So he's doing a press junket for that.
It was over the phone, and I was given exactly 15 minutes to talk to him. Everything's going swimmingly. I'm talking to John Waters, and I'm being pretty cool. And we get to the 14-minute point, and I look down at my notes, and he's covered everything. And without thinking, I said, "Is there anything that I didn't ask you about that you might, want to talk about?" And he said, "Here's a little tip, Craig."
I can hear the voice.
You're paid, I'm assuming you're paid, to interview me. If you would like me to write the questions, I would be happy to take a little bit of your money. Very bad form on my part, and exquisite form on his part. Being mildly scolded by John Waters is something where you're like, all right, I'm a man now. It was my very first time interviewing someone. And I told him that, "What, really? You did a wonderful job."
There you go. Happy ending to the story.
Yes.
I've got a bunch of movies that I've never seen before. You don't know what they are. Every episode I'm going to spring one on you. It might be good, it might be bad. We'll watch it and talk about it. Welcome to the basement. August continues here in the basement, and we are doing a look back in August, where we look back at previous episodes for inspiration. Looking at our back catalog, we've gone on some crazy adventures together.
127 of them.
130 of them.
Wow!
We've been to different worlds, we've been to different time periods, we've even been beyond the Valley of the Dolls. But you know what? I'd like to backtrack a little bit and find out just what that Valley of the Dolls is like.
Alright, send it this way.
Released in 1967, based on the 1966 novel of the same name by Jacqueline Suzanne, VOTD stars Susan Hayward, Sharon Tate, Patty Duke, and Barbara Perkins. Judy Garland was originally cast in the Susan Hayward role, but was fired when she allegedly came to the set drunk. She was going through her own real-life Valley of the Dolls at the time.
She was more method than we thought, I guess.
Despite being widely panned by critics, this was 20th Century Fox's top moneymaker for 1967.
The world doesn't change. Whatever the equivalent of Rotten Tomatoes was back then. Critics don't speak for us. Yeah!
The score for this film was the first for composer John Williams, and it was the first of his 50 Oscar nominations for musical composition. The most nominations for any currently living person. This was the big screen debut for a young Richard Dreyfuss, playing a very small role. Let's see if we can spot him.
I have a feeling we can. The man doesn't change. His hair just changes colors.
I'm always going on and on about my record collection, but what some people might not know is that you also have a record collection.
Yes.
And I've never given you a record as a gift on this show. That's going to change right now because when I was in the thrift store, I came across this little gem, and I'm going to give it to you.
Well, there we go.
Come lounge on the old leather couch with us as we descend into the glamorous nightmare world of addiction with Valley of the Dolls. If I ever release a rap album, do you know what I'm going to call it? Valley of the Dollas.
You've got to climb Mount Everest to reach the Valley of the Dolls. And the feeling of loneliness is overpowering.
That's the part of Easter Island where you get really high.
Yeah.
Ann Wells is moving to New York City.
It wasn't easy to leave that wonderful old house. George Washington didn't sleep there, but he did dip a bucket of water from our well.
She gets to New York City and moves into the Martha Washington Hotel. Did Martha Washington stay there or just dip her bucket?
She's applying for a job at the Bellamy and Bellows law firm.
I haven't any idea who the father is. It could have been one of several.
Oh, how scandalous.
Yeah, a woman having a job.
The agency said he's a lawyer.
A theatrical lawyer. There's a difference.
Hello! I object!
The boss doesn't want to hire her at first.
She's too good looking.
I'll throw some acid at her face. That will.
But he decides to hire her on a one-week trial basis. Her first job is to deliver some contracts to Helen Lawson, Broadway star. She catches a glimpse of this young singer, Neely OHara.
She's just so good and Helen just can't stand it.
Hey, how do you think the kid's song works in a new spot? Great, huh?
Hey, I'm Craig Johnson. How you doing?
The only hit that comes out of a Helen Lawson show is Helen Lawson. And that's me, baby, remember?
Back at the office, Anne meets Lion Burke, and they hit it off.
For every Helen Lawson, there's always a Helen Hayes or a Mary Martin.
And other names that only New Yorkers recognize.
Oh, sorry.
Allow me to help you pick up all of these sanitary napkins. So many of them.
Is there something wrong with you? There's a chorus girl named Jennifer.
Craig Johnson, you dog.
I feel a little top-heavy.
Oh, honey, you are a little top-heavy.
Why don't you leave her alone?
I'm a very cruel man when I talk to sexy women. I also like dressing them up as minor Dr. Seuss characters.
Mr. Bellamy goes to the theater to find out that some drama's happening. They're gonna cut Neely's song.
Why don't you take out one of Miss Lawson's songs? She's got 5.
Well, Neely, you can always quit.
If that's the way you want it.
That's the way you need it.
Any way you want it.
Fine, I'm gonna leave here with my dignity.
It's a rotten business.
There's no business like rotten business, like no business I know. There's a big cystic fibrosis telethon, and guess who's performing on it? Neely OHara.
It's impossible, it's not my style.
There was a time when telethons could actually turn your career around.
Whoa! Necklace! Joey Bishop is impressed.
Get off my stage! Who are you, woman?
Miss OHara, cystic fibrosis has been cured! All because of your song!
Tell Frank, Dean, and Sam they're gonna have to wait.
Frank Lloyd Wright, Dean Wormer, and Sam Spade.
Yes, an architect and 2 fictional characters. At the nightclub.
I caught the telephone.
Is that John Kerry as the waiter? Senator John Kerry?
And there they see their friend Jennifer.
The very charismatic Tony Polar is crooning his heart out, and he takes an interest in young Jennifer North.
Hello?
You've interrupted my upper body kegels.
Jennifer gives a lot of money to her mom back in Milwaukee.
And I know about the oil burner.
She knows about Yul Brynner?
Yeah, everyone knows about Yul Brynner.
And I am doing my bust exercises.
She's putting her bust foot forward. And if you think about that phrase too long, you'll become confused. Can this just be the rest of the movie? Hit the Sky opens in New Haven. So Anne and Lion go there to see how the premiere goes.
Dig that production design. It's all mobiles. I've watched that entire song trying to figure out an Alexander Calder joke. It didn't happen.
And later on, they make love.
Anne and Lion start up a relationship, but he's still married. Neely gets swept away into the vortex of entertainment.
I've been having conversations with the coast. They want to test you and Tony out there next week.
I go down to the coast and I'm like, hey, you seascape. I have something to talk to you about. Tony and Jennifer fall in love.
But his sister and manager, Miriam, doesn't like this romance for some reason.
No, not Miriam. She raised me. Worked like a dog to give me my singing lessons.
She pulled a sled.
She was really good at finding dead bodies. If it was a mobile artist, I'd say it was so much Calder out. Damn it.
He's a mobile artist. That's why you're trying desperately to make this joke. Yeah. They get married anyway. Anne has to go back home to Lawrenceville for a funeral, and Lion goes with her.
Anne, it's a dream town. I can almost hear Paul Revere's hoofbeats.
He passed us by.
He dipped it in a water bucket. And
he said it sure is colder than I thought it would be. I don't know what's wrong with me today.
She's pressing him to be more committed to the relationship.
I know it's not going to be my way, so I'm afraid it's going to be the highway.
Neely has gotten so famous, she wins a Grammy.
Now a special award for Miss Neely OHara.
For Best Telethon Breakthrough.
And now, because of the warm, plush, lush notes that emerge from your fair throat...
I've had 7 martinis. How many of you had, sweetheart?
How do you do?
We're coming out to the coast next week. Maybe we can get together.
And talk at it. Tony's got some bad news. He's being dropped by the studio. Yeah, it's probably because of that marriage.
Neely just keeps going and going and going and going. She needs something to keep her going, and that would be pills.
Mel is fed up with Neely. She's not herself anymore.
She takes a red pill to pep herself up, and at midnight she's still flying.
And she's spending too much time with this guy Ted Casablancas, who's a fashion designer.
Well, I've lost 5 pounds already. These pills are really great, Jen. They kill your appetite.
And you.
Mel has had enough, and he leaves Neely.
See you around.
I guess you could say that their romance has grown a bit colder.
You know, now that I hear someone else say it, it's just not funny.
Damn it! Anne and Lion do some hanging out.
Incidentally, Neely's one of my clients.
Really?
No, Neely. Neely, the singer. She's one of my clients.
I used to picture you with a sink full of dishes and a baby tugging at your skirt.
Now I picture a sink full of babies. And they rekindle their romance. At the premiere of Hello, Dolly, he loses control of his legs. Something's really wrong with Tony. He's contracted cystic fibrosis.
Neely didn't sing hard enough.
It's Huntington's chorea. There's no choice but to send him to a sanitarium. It's really tough to get any sleep in the Longview Sanitarium because Green Day is just going at it night and day. This couldn't have happened at a worse time.
I'm pregnant.
She's approached by this French director. Oh, someone with a body like yours would be perfect in my art films. She takes the job because she has no choice, and she ends up getting an abortion.
Neely has a bad ghost? Oh.
Neely is impossible to work with.
Oh, it's too hot.
Cut!
Stand by.
Well, it's too hot. It's too damn hot.
She's a big Cole Porter fan.
Yeah.
Get lost. I'm through for the day.
She's hopped up on pills and booze.
Just how long do you think you can get away with these antics? Come on.
Earlier that day, he also screamed that same thing to a monkey on a tricycle.
I want Lion to talk to that director. He's crucifying me.
Cecil B. DeMille? She goes home. Give me this bottle of gin. Can I take a pill? And she finds Ted with another woman in the pool.
That little whore makes me feel 9 feet tall.
I'm a regular Robert Wadlow. Neely misses another day of shooting because she's all hopped up on the dolls.
I want to tell you something, and you're not going to like it.
Bobby Kennedy's been shot.
She gets on a plane and goes to San Francisco. She gets harassed in a bar, and the next morning she wakes up to find that she's had a one-night stand with a sleazy fellow.
Who are you?
Hey, I'm Craig Johnson. How you doing?
Stealing her money, and we've also probably stole her virginity. Right?
She wakes up in the hospital one day after having taken an overdose of pills. That's it. You're going to a sanitarium. Hey, it's that one that Tony's in. Over there in France, Jennifer's made several art films with this director, Claude. Cut! But she doesn't want to do it anymore. She says, sell my contract so I can get out of here. Neely is all better.
Treatment is a story. There's a story behind that treatment. She gets attacked by a woman who's playing chess with her. And then she runs into an old friend in a sad, wistful way.
If I do right, love, but darling, I've tried, love.
She reconnects with Tony, but Tony's too far gone with his disease. I'm going to turn my life around and I'm going to turn my career around. We can do that. This is all good publicity.
How would you like to do a Broadway musical for David Merrick?
The Elephant Man? Sign me up. Jennifer comes back to the U.S.
How soon can I see him?
Jennifer, why don't you remember him as he was?
He wants nothing to do with a pornographist.
He prefers singing songs in a sanitarium.
And finds out that she has breast cancer. She takes a big old handful of those pills.
When did we stop taking pills like this? Me, I'm like a man. And now she's dead too.
Do you know any reason why she would take her own life?
Was she depressed?
Was she a mess? Did she feel totally worthless?
Maybe it's time for me to get into pills. All my friends have. This would be perfect for the assassination of Santa Claus.
Anne is real sad, so she turns to pills. She's just making herself a little pill soup for later. Neely goes to the premiere of the new Helen Lawson play. Remember her from the beginning of the movie? She's gonna stick it to her.
Like, you're just an old drunk pill popper. At least I got talent and I got fans. You know what else you got? You got a wig. She steals your wig, throws it in the toilet.
Why doesn't she just dye her hair?
Why doesn't she just die? Helen leaves with dignity and grace. That's a star if I've ever seen one.
Back at Neely's new play, she's in her dressing room being a diva. And in a moment of desperation, hey Neely, it's me, Pills. Remember the good times we used to have? Yeah, you do. There it is!
This was no boating accident. It's opening night, and she's wasted. This is your understudy. Later, Gator.
Neely goes to the bar next door.
Gets hammered.
Shall I call you a cab?
You're a cab. She is a cab.
She goes into the alley.
Age door.
Nice.
The whole world loves me!
Where's everyone I ever knew in my entire life?
Lion!
Irony. She wasn't expecting the lion. And quickly gets a pill problem.
To be taken in large handfuls 7 times a day.
And quickly gets rid of her pill problem.
She moves back home to Lawrenceville with her mama. That was a rather quick arc.
And gets a visit from Lion. Let's make this work. She says, you know what? I'm fine.
And those are the various stories of the Valley of the Dolls. Valley of the Dolls. We made it out. A legendary tawdry movie, but I wasn't getting a lot of that. This is very sanitized sleaze.
Everything somewhat sleazy about this movie would have been like a neon light back in '67. Just toilets flushing. That was a huge deal back in the '60s.
Yeah, that's true. I expected it to be more lurid. The sleaziest scene is when she wakes up in that hotel room.
Mm-hmm. Keep in mind, that's Patty Duke. She was this child star sensation. How did you find her?
I thought she was really good.
Yeah, she had a lot to do in this movie.
She also has the charisma to sell the fact that she's a rising star. Other things that made this film outrageous at the time, there's of course the buzzwords abortion, cancer.
Yeah.
Boobies, boobies, boobies.
But also the fact that they showed her treatment. When they show things that we're not supposed to talk about, that's like a big kind of cultural leap forward in terms of our boundaries.
Yes. If they just show the sanitarium as a place where you can sing a song with an old friend, it would be like,
right.
No, it's more like you're being attacked by a woman you thought you were just playing chess with. I was expecting it to be super ultra campy. It's
campy, yeah, exactly.
And, well, it's not as campy as we want it to be.
I mean, it works as a drama.
I'd call it a melodrama.
Okay.
A melodrama is when someone does a movie where she takes off her clothes and she is punished with breast cancer. You show those, we take them away.
That's a big problem with this movie. You have 3 main characters. One of them is interesting. 2 of them are not. Anne is so boring. Mm-hmm. Even when she gets addicted to pills, it's still just this... That doesn't help. I would have also liked to have seen more of Helen Lawson.
Yeah.
She's a great actress, and she's an interesting character, and she's this nice foil to, like, this is how you survive showbiz.
Not
this is
what these 3 did.
Yeah, this is how you manage stardom.
You don't die, you don't get washed up, and you don't go back to Lawrenceville.
Waste another year. This had a lot of similarities to Beyond the Valley of the Dolls. That is not surprising to me. There's the pills, abortion, a man loses the use of his legs, suicide, etc. I'm sure that Russ Meyer and Roger Ebert just had a laundry list of stuff when they were writing the script. It's like, oh, gotta check this one off. Gotta check that one off. Yep, abortion, got it.
Who shows up at the end of this movie that you weren't expecting? The Lord. Just in the last 2 scenes.
God! I prayed for this moment.
What's up with all this praying at the end of this movie?
Well, it's not surprising at all. It gives the movie a certain morality.
Yes.
Oh, these women are having this troubles for various reasons, but one of the big ones is that they have turned away from God.
Yes, but there's never the option of God, spelled out at any point in the movie. People take pills in this movie like my 7-month-old puts anything into his mouth. Just...
Yeah, oh yeah. What I really think about Valley of the Dolls is... It's too hot in here. I'm sick of this. I'm done for the day.
Matt! And now it's time for Seen It. I'll be in my trailer!
Craig has convinced me to return for Seen It.
Do we have a theme for Seen It?
Yeehaw! It's the 80s cable roundup. Woo! We both grew up in the 80s, and we both grew up with cable, and that means we watched a lot of movies. Got some very old Seen It's on this list. Some of these have been hanging around since season 1, I think.
Don't give up hope, guys. If we do not do your Seen It might show up 5 years later.
Mr. Crinkle82 writes, can you guys please review Midnight Madness 1980? Nothing would make me happier. Not only have I seen it, I remember the theme song. When midnight madness starts to get to you, doesn't matter what you say doesn't matter what you do. Seen it.
Seen it as well. Don't remember that song. Is this the one that has a young Michael J. Fox in it?
Michael J. Fox's debut. This movie is thrillingly stupid. I would watch it anytime it came on HBO, and sometimes it would come on at midnight, Craig.
Yeah.
Midnight Madness at midnight. That's synergy.
Vonnegut98 writes, Original Bad News Bears, seen it?
Yes, I've seen it. I'm Walter Matthau. I starred in that movie.
I'm Jackie Earl Haley. Seen it too.
I saw that movie when I was the age of those kids, and I was a bit of a Bad News Bear myself.
Yeah.
Our Cub Scout troop was basically the Bad News Bears. We were the worst Cub Scouts. I was so old. I was too old to be a Cub Scout, so that I jumped from Bobcat to Weebelo. Like, I skipped Wolf and the other two.
Yeah.
I was the worst. So I really connected with this movie. And the scene at the end, spoiler alert, after they lose the game and they all start drinking beer, I just thought that was amazing. I'd never seen anything like that. And I thought, I want to be on this team.
I was very squeaky clean, so I was like, why are they drinking?
Gregory Sukazian writes, have you guys ever reviewed or mentioned The Bride? I love both of your opinions, except when you're wrong. Gregory, opinions are not facts. They're opinions. There's no right or wrong there. Seen it.
I have not seen it, and that's a fact.
This is a retelling of the Frankenstein story. It features the acting of Sting.
Yes.
Which is something you always want to see. Sting does many things well. Lute playing, sex, but acting is not one of them. And the reason I really like this movie is because it features an actor named David Rappaport, who many of you know from Time Bandits. He was the lead little person bandit.
Okay, yeah.
And he was also in that one episode of The Young Ones, playing a devil.
Oh, yes.
Fadoomsh.
Don't say his name!
He's just got such a unique voice and a unique face, and anytime I saw him in something, I just really liked that. He had really bad depression, felt like his career had a ceiling that he couldn't get through, and I think in the early 90s he ended up committing suicide. Very sad thing, but I really like that actor, and I remember liking The Bride.
Big Dino Guy writes, quick suggestion for a movie you guys should watch is The Untouchables. Seen it.
Seen it, definitely.
A million times. Had it memorized for a stretch of my life, I think.
I don't think I can think of an actor in the history of actors more suited to play Elliot Ness than Kevin Costner, with the possible exception of Robert Stack, who played him in the TV show.
Yeah, although Robert Stack could not have played as squeaky clean as Kevin Costner was back in the 80s.
Brian De Palma. Ennio Morricone does the score. David Mamet writes the screenplay. Sean Connery wins an Oscar for a supporting role. It's incredible. And it's got that wiener guy that you like.
Charles Martin Smith.
Yeah.
The wiener guy. You know who's in it? Del Close is in it.
Wow.
Father of modern improv. You all think you're untouchable, don't you? That's Del Close.
If you have a Seen It suggestion for us, be sure to leave it in the comments. And while you're doing that, you can also visit our website, welcometothebasementshow.com. That has PayPal donation buttons. You can donate a little bit to support our show. If you like the show, send a few dollars our way. That is what Roger did. He said, a rolling donation is the least I can do for the best show on YouTube. I am currently working on the 150 movies in a year challenge that Craig did a while back. I'm only up to 87.
We're tied. I'm at 87. Wait, I'm sorry. I just watched Valley of the Dolls. I'm at 88. Bring it on. If you donate to the show, we will mention you on our unboxing show. That's a show we do every other Friday that we're not putting out this show.
On a personal note, I'd also like to thank everyone for your very nice comments regarding the passing of Ernesto. If that is news to you, you can click on the link at the end of this video and watch the memorial video. It really means a lot to me and Tona and Cecil.
And me.
And Craig. But I want to read a very special comment right now. This is from Jessica W., who says, very sorry to hear of Ernesto's passing. You guys both gave him such a good life and tender care when he needed it. I've sent a donation to animalrescueinc.org so that other kitties can receive good care just like you gave Ernesto. That is a very nice gesture. You definitely support this show by supporting organizations that rescue animals and that give them good homes. We had a good time watching Valley of the Dolls, and now this.
Come live with me.
Great, now he's got 100 roommates.
The